two-port network. In two-port network, already we have discussed introduction to two-port networks, and we have discussed Z parameters. In that we have discussed about Z parameters for two-port network and Z parameters for T-port network. Now in this presentation we are going to solve a few problems based on Z parameters. So before going to problems, we are going to see how to design T-port network once if you know Z parameters. So as we know, this is our T network, Z1, Z2 and Z3. Okay, these are the three impedance contained in T form. Okay, now we have to find this Z1, Z2, Z3. How to find? If you are given with Z parameters, if you know Z11, Z12, Z21 and Z22, how to find this Z1, Z2 and Z3? So as we know already that Z11 is Z1 plus Z3 and Z22 is Z2 plus Z3 and Z12 is equal to Z21 is equal to Z3 for T network. So now from equation 1 we know that Z1 is equal to Z11 minus Z3. So what is Z3? Z3 is simply Z12 or Z21. So if it is a reciprocal network, correct? So Z1 is equal to Z11 minus Z3. That means Z1 will be equal to Z11 minus Z12. So Z1, we found Z1. Similarly, if you want to find Z2, then take equation number 2. In this case, you can see Z22 is equal to Z2 plus Z3. So now you make this Z3 to go here. So Z2 will be Z22 minus Z3. We know what is Z3. Z3 is equal to Z21 or Z12. So if you substitute that, we get Z2 is equal to Z22 minus Z21. And for Z3, we know it is either Z212 or Z21. These two are equal once if you have reciprocal network, okay? Or else you will get different values, okay? Okay, fine. So now we got all these three impedances, Z1, Z2 and Z3. So once we know all this, we can design a T network. Okay. So this is how we have to. So only thing we have to keep this formula in mind. What is Z1? Z11 minus Z12. Z2 is equal to Z22 minus Z21, and Z3 is either Z21 or Z12. Okay, if these two values will be equal only if it is a reciprocal network. That means we have only impedances or passive elements. Okay, then we'll have equal value, or else it will have different values. Okay. Okay. Now let us do few problems. So for given two-port network equations, draw an equivalent network. So in this they have not mentioned what either it is a T network to draw or pi network to draw, but from the equations we have to find. You know, this is our equation. Once we are given with voltage equations, we know that this is 20, this is Z11, this is 10. So associated with the currents always impedance. So 10, it is Z12, this is Z21 and this is Z22. So once if we are given with voltage equation, then we are going to draw T network. That is very important. Okay, in some cases they may not be giving to draw in particular to draw pi or T network. Only from equations we have to find it out whether we have to draw T network or pi network. For another case, if they are giving with the current equation, then you will be having here in this place you will be having admittance. Okay, we have not discussed that one yet, but we will be discussing in the next presentation about admittance parameter. In that case, we will be getting current equations. In current equations, this one will be this coefficient will be admittance. Okay, admittance. So in that case, we will be going for pi network. Okay, so now we will solve this one first. So voltage equations given. That means we have impedance parameter. So equivalent circuit to be drawn is T network. Now we are clear. So we know Z11, we know Z12, we know Z21 and Z22. In the previous slide we discussed how to find Z1, Z2 and Z3 and to draw T network. So to find Z1 is simply Z11 minus Z12. That is 20 minus 10, it is 10 ohms. Similarly, from equation 2 what they have given, from equation 2 we get Z21 as 10 ohms and Z22 as 25 ohms. So Z2 is simply Z22 minus Z21, 15 ohms. and Z3 is either Z21 or Z12, it is 10 ohms. So finally we can draw T network. We have found Z1, we found Z2 and Z3, so we can draw T-port network very easily. Now let us go to the next problem. Find the Z parameter for the network shown. In this case, they have given Z1, they have given the network, and once we form the voltage equation for this. So once we found voltage equations, impedances or coefficients associated with currents gives you impedance parameters. So this is a circuit given here. So you can see here we got two loops. This is port 1 and this is port 1 dash and this is port 2 dash, and we got loop 1, loop 2. Loop 1 is formed with V1 3 and this 3 forms loop 1, and 3 2 ohms and this dependent source voltage, current dependent voltage source, and this V2 forms loop 2. So write equation, loop equation using Kirchhoff's voltage law for this loop 1 and loop 2, and from that we can find Z parameters, that is the coefficients associated with currents gives you impedances or impedance parameters. So our aim is to find voltage equation, and from that we can find Z parameters. So now we are going to write loop equation, first loop and this is second loop. So for first loop, applying Kirchhoff's law, we got V1 is equal to, you can see here, V1 is equal to 3I1 plus 3I1 plus I2, because I1 also coming towards the impedance and I2 also coming towards the impedance. So this becomes current flowing through 3 ohms will be I1 plus I2. So in first loop we got V1 is equal to 3I1 plus 3I1 plus I2. Okay, so this is your first equation. Once we are simplifying this, we get V1 is equal to 6I1 plus 3I2. This is your equation number 1. So from loop 2, again we are applying Kirchhoff's voltage law. So in loop 2, if we take in loop 2, this is your loop 2, you can say we will start from here. So V2 is equal to, in this loop we got voltage V2. V2 is equal to 7I1. Directly we can take this current, this value. So 7I1 plus 2I2. Current flowing through this one is 2I2, and current flowing through this is already we know I1 plus I2 plus 3I1 plus I2 is your second equation. So V2 is equal to 7I1 plus 2I2 plus 3I1 plus I2. Once if you solve this, we get V2 is equal to 10I1 plus 5I2. So from these two equations, now we know this one coefficient associated with the currents is your impedance parameter. So this one is Z11 and this one is Z12 and this is Z21 and this one is Z22. So we found very easily. So only thing is, once if they are giving T network, then we can find Z parameters just simply writing the voltage equations or finding voltage equations using Kirchhoff's voltage law. We will get the values directly. Okay, let us move to the third problem. Calculate driving point impedance and transfer impedance of the network shown below. So this is very important. See, it's a different thing shown here. We are not given with the impedance directly. Instead of that, they have given inductance and capacitance. You can see here, and the values also in henries and farad. So if you want to write voltage equation, these values impedance, I mean this impedance, if you want to show it in impedance, that is reactance value. Okay, we have to convert this into reactance first. Okay, that means if reactance for inductance is XL and reactance for capacitance is XC, so we have to find that. Then again we have to go for voltage equations. So first thing is, whenever you are getting inductance and capacitance as direct values, we have to convert into reactance. Then again we have to redraw this. Then we have to go for solution. Okay, so in this problem, inductance and capacitance are given. In order to find impedance, inductance and capacitance are represented by their reactance. No, we cannot take this directly, 1 Henry and 1 farad. We have to convert into reactance. So we know XL is equal to J omega L and XC is equal to 1 by J omega C. So for solving this kind of problems, parameters are represented in S domain, that is frequency domain. That means simply, you know, XL is equal to J omega L. What is J omega? J omega can be represented as S. Okay, in frequency domain it is simply S. So J omega L is equal to SL. j omega is your s. We are just removing this j omega, and we are going to have, once you know Laplace, then we know how this comes. Okay, so j omega L is equal to SL, and 1 by j omega C will becomes 1 by SC. So this L and C is your value in Henry and value in farads for capacitance. Okay, so for our case we got 1 Henry and 1 farad, so we'll get S and 1 by S, because capacitance value is 1 farad and the inductance value is 1 Henry. Okay, so now we can represent the circuit with reactance values. You can see here 1S. If you are getting inductance value 5, then it is 5S. If you are getting capacitance value as 2 farad, then it is 1 by 2S. Okay, only thing here you have to, here we got only 1, that's why we have not mentioned anything. So if you are getting whatever the value of capacitance, that one will be coming here. Okay, so if you are getting 5 farad, it is 1 by 5S. If you are getting in this place, we are getting in Henrys, we are getting 2 Henry, then it is 2S. Okay, so this is your circuit after finding a reactance, after converting into reactance. Now we can solve this network and we can find the parameters. I mean, what are they asked? That is driving point impedance and transfer impedance. So to find the input driving point impedance, Z11 is your input driving point impedance. So we know that Z11 can be obtained by V1 by I1, keeping output port R2 2' open, that is current, output current, or I2 is 0. This means what we can do, it is nothing else, finding impedance looking at the port 1, keeping port 2 open circuit out, and from input circuit or from port 1 looking the total value of inductance impedance, that value is your driving point impedance. So this means that Z11 is equivalent impedance looking from port 1 and keeping port 2 open circuit out. So for our case, if we open circuit this will not come into this tool, this one will not come to picture, your circuit close with this. Okay, now you can see here, if I am finding impedance from this point, from here I am going to from looking at here, I am going to find the impedance. That means you can see here these two reactants are in series, and this series combination is parallel with this one, and that overall combination is in series with this one. So if you want Z11, just find total impedance looking from here. So here in this case 1S into 1 by S divided by 1S plus 1 by S into 1 by S divided by that combination gives you equivalent of this one, and just adding this 1S to that will get total impedance. You can see here, in this case you can see here, so this one, that series combination, it is parallel with 1 by S, and that total combination is in series with S. Okay, once if you solve this, once if you simplify this, you will be getting the answer. Z11 will be S power 4 plus 3 S square plus 1 divided by S cube plus 2S. This is your driving point impedance, input driving point impedance. Similarly, to find transfer impedance, that is Z21, then we know the value Z21 is equal to, how we found Z21? Z21 is equal to V2 by I1, keeping port 2 open circuit, that is I2 is equal to 0. So Z21 is equal to V2 by I1. So V2, if you take your circuit, this is our circuit, you can see we have to find V2, that means, okay, V2 by I1 is your Z21, that is transfer impedance. So we have to find V2. What is V2? V2 is voltage across this reactance. So this, not to find voltage across this reactance, I assume one current flowing through this reactance, that is IA. I have assumed it as IA. IA into this value gives you V2. So what is IA? IA is nothing else, your current, total current I1 coming towards this node and getting branched or divided, some current going like this and rest of the current going through this way. That rest of the current is IA. So if I want IA using current division method, I can find IA. So what is IA? Total current coming toward this node is I1. So I1 into other resistance or other impedance divided by total impedance gives you IA. So IA is equal to total current. From here only it is getting branched. So IA, I1 into other impedance divided by this total impedance gives IA. So solving this, you will be getting IA. So IA is equal to I1 divided by S square plus 2. Once if you multiply that here, V2 is equal to I1 by S cube plus 2S. So if you bring this I1 here, V2 by I1 will be equal to Z21. It is simply 1 by S cube plus 2S. So just by just giving voltage equations or forming voltage equations, you can find, or else you can find this way also, just finding equivalent impedance, and also by applying current division methods you can find these values. Okay, so with this I stop this presentation. We will be discussing admittance parameters or Y parameter in the next presentation. Thank you.